So on the 17th of September, I kind of sat down and I went, where am I with my creative practice? I hadn't really been making very much, just because of my constraints of home and what was going on with the builders, etc. But the swallows' nests were something that when I moved here in May, they were just building, and I didn't have a door on my shed, so they were having free entry, and I put a door on my shed, but I didn't shut the door until much later, until they'd all fledged. So the swallow's nest, I was interested to look further into that. Through being at the Ness of Broadcar exhibition at the Orkney Museum, I'd identified that there was a Orkney thing called crank, which was a kind of conglomerate fired earth that was called crank here in Orkney. So that's something I would like to explore. And I wrote down that I'd like to experiment with my new forge and casting equipment, look into specific technical aspects of concrete in terms of environment versus the earth. And I wrote down here that I'd thought to create volume cubes in relation to the ozone impact. Well, that's something I've never gotten done, but it's, yeah, I think there's maybe a conversation there somehow between the concrete and the earth. I just haven't figured that out yet. Recreate the capillary bridge, experiment using sandside sand, and design my sculptural garden framework. But I concentrated initially on the swallow's nest, and I did a lot of research on that, looking at online and finding out how they made them, what they were made for, and their mating patterns, and how many times they would breed in a year, etc. And the one thing was that they, spend hours collecting. A new nest can take them many hours to form and make, because they gather the mud and they use their own spit to sort of dampen it and place it into the nest, and it then dries and forms the bond with the dried material that they've gathered. So, anything from little bits of straw and grass and to feathers and anything kind of natural like that that's lying around. So yeah, that was really interesting, and it led me on to then wondering if I could create my own sparrow's nests. And I was looking at the shape. I actually did shut the door, and I took down, because the door will remain shut, so they won't breed in there again. And I know that's kind of sad for things, but there is another shed here that they were breeding in and they can still access, so I've not completely shut down all avenues for nesting swallows. But this is the nest that I have on my display, and I loved the way that the cobweb had formed over the top of it. The interesting for me was that I thought that they would be completely formed in a circle, but they're actually this half circle. They just form the outer concave bit. Against whichever surface they access. So yeah, they're not complete solid forms. And that I then went on and made my own. So I have to find